is. There she is.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Nat.
How are
Hello,
you?
everyone. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was just saying to everybody that I hosted our third networking event here down in the DR today.
Awesome.
And it was so cool because there were new business owners. So over the last 3 months, we've had repeats, and then we've had new people show up. So as you know, you're an avid networker. It's always fun to see the regulars, but it's so much fun when new people show up because that means like the pool is getting bigger. And I'm sure you'll agree with me. When the pool gets bigger, that means there's more opportunities as business owners.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You get some fresh blood. It's nice to keep strengthening and nurturing those connections you already have, but
Right.
then adding some new perspectives into the mix is always a great thing.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
I want to get started because I'm excited that we're doing this together, but I want everybody to know who you are. So that's really important. So Melanie, see, I call you Melanie, and I don't know why. It's Emilie. I am so good with names. It's like a thing I have usually. Emilie Plante is a speaking coach and the founder of Emilie Plante Coaching. You only do online coaching?
So far, yes. Yeah, I love working from the comfort of my home, and it's easier for everyone's busy schedules.
I love it. So online business dedicated to transforming entrepreneurs into exceptional speakers so they can grow successful businesses and positively impact their community. If you're joining us now, make sure that you wave to us and say hi. If you have any questions for either of us, please drop them in the comments. So she combines her language teaching and theater experience, and I can't wait to hear more about this. Emilie's created a unique approach that leverages acting, improv, and storytelling techniques. Through fun, playful exercises, she empowers entrepreneurs to step outside their comfort zone, build confidence, and tap into their passions to hone onto their authentic voice. You use so many words there that resonate with me because this is a tough topic, and it's tough from an early age. And it's tough for adults too. So how do your clients feel about the fun aspect when you add that into it?
I think sometimes they're a little thrown off because I'll get people to do a warm-up. I recommend warming up before speaking at the beginning of your workday. If you're going live like we are, I was warming up just before. And I'll get them to stand up, get out of their seats because we do the coaching online.
Yeah.
And we'll start with some deep breaths, then really get into our bodies. Make sure we're present by shaking our limbs, waking up our face, making silly faces, getting really goofy. And then we might even make some sounds that are a little bit fun. We'll warm up our voices, make sure they're really resonant and powerful. So sometimes we'll do tongue twisters that the nature of tongue twisters are pretty silly and don't necessarily hold a lot of important meaning. But seeing people get out of their heads and really focus on the present moment. That's what I love. Yeah. It's so amazing to see them just
sparking some ideas. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not stressful.
I did a workshop last night here in the DR for some business owners, and it was a small group. And I had some slides, and I use slides for those visual learners, and one of them had an icebreaker, and I said, we'll just skip over this one, and they're like, no, we want to do it. And so I did it with them. It's an icebreaker I used to do when I worked on cruise ships, and we had so much fun. And I think for a moment, it's almost like I was doubting myself in that fun, and it's one of my values is fun, because I know that this topic can be so hard. So, I mean, we come from a different generation. How did you fall into this speaking realm? And I say at a young age, because I'll be honest, like when I was your age, I don't think that this was even on my radar, or it wasn't even something that I would have, maybe I would have, but it wasn't on my radar because I was in a totally different world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe my whole life I was slowly working my way towards this without realizing it. I know that as a kid, I was very, very chatty. I loved acting. That's something that I knew from a young age, and I did all my school plays, as many as I could. I joined the drama club, and then I pursued it in college too. So I studied theater and acting, and I really enjoyed doing it. I was always observing other performers, what we're like on stage, how do they use their body, their voices, and I knew that it was important to present yourself well, and how expressing your thoughts and ideas a certain way would really have more of an impact when you rehearsed and practiced, when you were ready. But then being able to improvise, that was a skill that we had to develop as actors. And so all of that made me a good communicator. And people had noticed this when I was in university, outside of my acting classes. And then I didn't exactly put it aside, but I decided to travel. And while I was traveling, I taught English as an au pair, which is a type of live-in nanny. I did that for about 10 months in France. That led me into teaching English online, helping people in the workplace communicate in English.
Oh,
so business English. And then I realized that it's not enough to master a language, the grammar, expand your vocabulary, that you really need to master the art of speaking. And then because I was teaching English and using some of my acting experience and improv techniques to help my students become better communicators, I realized that you don't need to be a non-native English speaker to have these issues, that people who have been speaking English their whole lives also need to improve the way they speak. And that is what led me to start working for this company in Toronto. They were looking for people with this exact kind of experience to coach professionals on their public speaking skills.
So do you, so you recognize early on, even before your career, for me, the recognition only came after visiting my old high school. And I don't remember why I was visiting, but I remember leaving, and I'd started my business not long before, and I thought, no one ever helped me do this. We were asked to present all the time. You know, you have to go to the front of the class. You have to, you know, do a math problem. And I used to be like sweating, and like the physical symptoms were so strong. And I walked out of school that day and I thought, nobody ever helped me do this. And I think I need to do something or create something that will help teens be more autonomous and feel good. Yeah. Because being a teenager already is tough. Right? I do remember it. It was a little while ago, but it was tough. So having the tools to do that, and I think that just like you, making it fun takes away some of that anxiety. And I always know, I don't know, like, so do you prefer doing like individual coaching, or do you like group coaching as well?
I like both for different reasons. With the one-on-one coaching, you obviously get more talking time, and it's so personalized. It's a safe environment where you can be vulnerable, open up. With the group coaching, the team dynamic can sometimes be really uplifting. You learn so much by watching others in action. And especially if you work together, that's a great way to build up a nice team spirit. If you're a group of strangers, it also works well, but people are a bit shyer at the beginning. It takes them a little while to break out of their shell. And that's why icebreakers are so important to help speed that along.
And I feel like adults, we are just big kids at heart. We just really want to have fun as well. They don't always know it, right? They don't always will admit it, but at the end of the day, because you incorporate, like you've mentioned a few of them already, modalities when you do your coaching, how do you weave those things in to show the clients the importance? Because I know I'm always preaching, you know, when it's a simplistic of a structure of a speech or something students are doing in class, it's like, make a point and tell a story, because the story is the relatable piece. So how do you weave that in?
Well, we normally start with self-awareness, just being aware of your speaking habits and tendencies. If you speak really low and your volume is down here, how can we build a more powerful voice? So we start with some of the basics, your volume, your speed and rhythm, because sometimes we speak really quickly and we need to slow down, and intonation, the tone of voice that you have, as well as your clarity. Are you being clear? Are we understanding everything? We work on the enunciation